Hello and welcome back to the Frugal Life with Mercedes. I am Mercedes. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm just going to do a get to know me video. I thought that it would be fun to kind of share some fun facts about myself, and I hope that you guys enjoy. First of all, I've mentioned it before, but I don't know how many of you know that. So I live in Virginia, and I've lived in Virginia since 2001. We moved here when my mom got remarried, and I am originally from Ohio. I'm actually from Cleveland. That's where I lived when I was little, and I have 7 brothers and sisters, so I am one of 8. I am second oldest. So I have 3 brothers and 4 sisters. Um, let's see, I have 2 nephews and 1 niece. All 3 of those are from one sister. And my 2 youngest siblings are still in high school. So there is quite an age gap between us. And um, my favorite colors are red and green, mostly green. I always say red and green, but really green is like my favorite. Not because of Christmas, but just because I like it. Um, I was born in May, so I found out when I was little that an emerald was the May birthstone, and since then I've kind of just always loved it. My favorite drink is probably Pepsi. Well, it's most definitely Pepsi, but I am a big hot tea drinker. I really like that too. I drink hot tea pretty much year round. I'm sure you guys have seen some of my little tea parties. My mom and my sisters, we'll have tea parties occasionally, sometimes just random tea parties, like, hey, you want to have a tea party, but sometimes they are kind of involved. So sometimes it's fancy and sometimes not so fancy. But yeah, Pepsi is my, yeah, I have a love for soda. I really do. Um, my favorite foods, I am a big foodie. So I am definitely a junk food junkie. I love chips and all that kind of stuff. I love sweet and I love sour and savory. I do not like spice. I really do not eat spicy food. Not a big fan of spicy food. And I actually don't eat fish or seafood. I will eat canned tuna. Occasionally, I really do like a tuna sandwich, but as far as just regular fish or seafood, I do not partake. There's no real reason except for I really just don't like it. I've had it really every way that you can have it, and I'm not a fan. So that means I don't like shrimp. I don't like lobster. I don't like um, fried fish or anything like that. Even as a kid, my mother would get fish sticks, and that's not even really real fish, and I was not having it. Um, I also am not a big cheese eater. As a kid, I really did not like cheese at all. As I got older, I do like cheese, but I would say I like the stinky cheeses, so like goat cheese and feta and blue cheese crumbles and stuff like that. And occasionally, I will eat some cheese, but I actually have a dairy sensitivity, so I really shouldn't be eating cheese anyway. Um, but I'm just not a big cheese person. I never really got the hype. Like there are some cheeses where I'm like, yeah, that's really good, but I would really rather have a donut or something. You know what I mean? Rather than cheese. Um, but speaking of donuts, those are some of my favorites. Sweets are I love donuts. I love brownies. So when I was a teenage, well, basically my whole life, I'm sure it was probably similar to with you guys. Your mother asks you what kind of cake you want, and I remember, I don't know, I was probably like 12 or something, and I said I don't want a cake, I want brownies. And then since then, I've always gotten brownies for my birthday, and it's funny because um, my niece had a birthday party a few weeks ago, and she made cake, and there were brownies, and I brought my partner with me, and he was like, does everyone just know, like, just make brownies for you? And I was like, oh, I bet they're not for me, they're for everybody. And my sister was like, well, I know Mercedes doesn't like cake, so I made some brownies, but of course everyone could have them. So it's kind of like a joke, that brownies are my birthday thing. I really like ice cream, candy. I love candy. I'm a big candy person. I don't eat it all that often, but there's not much candy that I don't like. Sour Patch Kids are one of my favorites. Snicker bars are like my OG favorite, like since I was little. My hobbies include, I'm a power walker, so I try to walk if I had it my way, I would walk miles and miles and miles every day, but that's not always feasible, but I do try to walk every day, even if it's a short distance. I love hiking, I love the woods, I love to swim, I love any opportunity to be in water. So if it's raining, I will stand out in the rain for a little while. I love sprinklers and pools and ponds and creeks and the ocean and all that kind of stuff. I really love water and nature in general. If you guys watch my shorts, you know that I love nature. Trees. I love trees. I love everything about a tree. I love how tall they are, how short they are. I love how the different barks look. The leaves, especially if there's something special about the tree, like it has like ivy or vines growing up it, or it's kind of has like a boo boo on it, and that's what makes it beautiful and special. And I just love trees in general. People joke like that I am a tree hugger, and I actually am. I have definitely gone in on my walks and saw a beautiful tree and just like I like to touch them. You know what I mean? It's kind of something that's a little quirky about me, but I definitely love to touch trees and just kind of be in nature. And I get outside as much as humanly possible. Just love the outdoors. Other hobbies, I like to read and listen to audiobooks, but I also read, regular hardcover books, like physical copies, but I do listen to audiobooks. I love murder mysteries, especially cozy mysteries, for books and for watching TV. I love documentaries, especially stuff about cults and religion, and there's not many documentaries that I don't love or am a fan of. So I'm a big documentary person. One of my favorite shows is Murder, She Wrote, and Angela Lansbury passed away last fall, and when I saw that she had passed away, I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm not a celebrity person, but for her, I was very, very upset about that, and I had like 10 people text me and that were like, oh my gosh, I heard that Angela Lansbury passed away, are you okay? And that's like, because I was, oh man, when she went, that was a hard one. And Anthony Bourdain, when he had passed away a few years ago, I was really upset. I loved him, and of course Paul Walker when he passed away, especially so suddenly. So those are like my three main celebrities. And I'm not a reality TV person, although occasionally I will watch like a Sister Wives or 600 Pound Life or something like that. And my partner, he's like, you don't like reality TV unless it's kind of legit. Like the people on 600 Pound Life, I like watching it because I love looking at people's lives and seeing how circumstances and all that and what makes a person tick, and that super fascinates me, and different lifestyles. That's why I like Sister Wives. So it is reality TV, and I'm sure it is, some of it is hyped up for views, but it is real versus some of your other reality TV shows are probably completely fake or very faked. Yeah, so knitting is another huge hobby of mine. Crafts in general, but knitting, I knit every single day. I learned how to knit when I was 17. I used to hang out in the library at lunch, and basically what happened was the librarians would be knitting during their lunch break, and I remember that some people were like, you know, they wanted to learn, and the librarians were like, well, if you guys come at lunchtime, we'll show you how to do it. And some other people kind of got involved, and there kind of ended up being an impromptu knitting and crocheting club, and I somehow got involved in that. I never could get the hang of crocheting, but I've knitted pretty much every day since I was 17, um, and I absolutely love it. Things that I like to collect, I collect salt and pepper shakers, but I'm very specific about what I like. I like vintage ones, and buttons. I collect buttons. I have boxes of buttons. That actually started with my grandmother. When I was a little girl, my grandmother had a glass jar. It probably was like an old mayonnaise jar or something like that. And it had all like buttons in it that she collected, but it was from like when somebody's, you know, shirt got thrown away or something like that. Like, she wasn't wasteful at all, and she was also a quilter, and so she saved her buttons, and she had a button jar, and she passed away when I was 6. And a few years later, I my grandfather gave me the button jar, and so the obsession with buttons has been going on for a really long time. So I've total, like, you guys have seen, if you've seen some of my pictures that I post on Instagram or on the community tab here, I will find change. I have totally found buttons out on the sidewalk and picked them up and added them to my button collection. Something that I also really love to, I don't even know if it's a collection, but I really love scissors, and I have a huge box of scissors of every shape, size, style. Just really love scissors for some reason, and I label them. So that's something kind of quirky that I do. So I've got like my fabric scissors and my yarn scissors and my paper scissors. And I have a beautiful set of pinking shears that were my grandmother's, the lady that was a quilter. I have those, and they are super, super heavy duty. So yeah, um, I think that's really all. I just thought that that would be kind of fun for you guys to get to know me. If there's any questions or anything that that you guys want to know about me, you can ask in the comments, and I will answer them, or I will make another video, a Q&A. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes. And until next time, bye.